everyone, and welcome to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to be making 6-hour spaghetti sauce. It's really easy and it is out of this world good. So what you're going to start with, let me start off by saying this. Everything except the sugar that I'm using today is organic because I'm still on my detox diet for my stomach, but I'm allowed to incorporate my tomatoes now. So I'm only going to put in a half a cup of sugar to a huge pot, so it's not that much sugar. You do need to count the sugar. It's probably 1 or 2 grams per, not even per serving, probably, I would say a quarter gram of sugar per serving. It's very little, so I'm not too concerned about it. So how we're going to start out is I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of my pan, and I'm doing this because I'm using organic meat and it's kind of dry. Not dry to the bite, but doesn't have a lot of grease in it. So if you're using regular meat, you don't need to use the olive oil. So let's get started. Get a big pan. Everything's going to be made in one pan. So let's get started. So what we're going to put in this pan is 1 pound of ground beef. Oh, by the way, have your oven preheating at 300. 1 pound of sweet Italian sausage out of the casing. And 1 pound of ground pork. Now, you can also put some braising beef in here, braising bones. I don't like to do that only because sometimes the bones splinter into the sauce, and I really worry about that. So I'm not doing that today. I'm just going to make with these 3 meats. So what we want to do is we want to get our meats brown, so break them up. Need my ground masher. And we're going to let this get brown, and once it's brown, we're going to drain it off in a colander in the sink, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so when your meat is halfway through the browning cycle, put in, I have as much onion as you want. I have 3 large onions. Pour that in. And garlic. Now, use as much or as little as you want on the garlic. I have a whole head here that I chopped up. Throw that in. And now we're going to finish the meat browning with the onions in it and garlic. Alright, so I'm straining out the meats, the garlic, and the onion. Now to this pan, you're going to add 3 cans of tomato paste, and they are 6 ounces. Now, while we're adding this first, before we do anything else, you want to cook this down a little bit, because if you don't, it kind of tastes pasty. So we're just going to cook it for a couple minutes. I'm actually going to take this off the heat right now so I can put these in. Alright, the tomato paste is in here, and I'm going to let it cook for about 2 minutes. You don't want to burn it, so you need to keep stirring it and keep an eye on it. We just want to cook it to cook out that floury taste. Alright, so I shut off the heat underneath the tomato paste, and we're going to add in our meats and onion and garlic back in. Now, I'm going to tell you, a lot of this is to taste. It calls for 2 large cans, 29 ounce each, of tomato sauce. Organic is not found, organic tomato sauce, I cannot find it in the big cans. So I'm using these 15 ounce cans, and I bought extra. Make sure you buy 1 to 3 cans extra of the large if you can, because I like to add a little bit more than it says. Not only does it make this go farther, but it also makes it better for the noodles. You'll have more juice for the noodles, more sauce. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to add all our ingredients in. And this makes a ton, and it freezes really, really good. So while you're making the mess, make a full batch and then freeze it. Alright, that is 30 ounces right there, 60 ounces, I'm sorry, and I'm going to put the rest of this stuff in, and then I'm going to see if I need another can. Alright, I added the 60 ounces of tomato sauce, and as you can see, that is not enough. You want this saucy. So I'm going to add 3 more cans, and you want to do this before you start seasoning. That way everything tastes really good once you're done. Like I said, I always end up adding more because I like it to be really saucy. I use this sauce on everything. Spaghetti, lasagna, eggplant parmesan. So I use it on everything. And every time I've served this, it's been everyone asks for the recipe. So I'm telling you, it is really good. And if you're a busy mom, this is something just to put in the oven and let it go for the day. Okay, let me stir that up and see how that looks. That is perfect. All right. Come take a look at this, Jackie. Now there's all the sauce. See how much saucier it is? That's what you're looking for, okay? Now we're going to start adding in our ingredients to season it. So we're going to add some salt, some pepper, now you can go from a half a cup to 3/4 cup of sugar. I'm using a half a cup. If you don't like sugar, don't put it in. It's all up to your tastes, okay? I just don't like the bitterness of the tomatoes out of the can without sugar. And now we're going to add our Italian seasoning. Now, I can't tell you exactly how much. It's all I taste, but I'll try and measure it approximately, okay? So here's 1 tablespoon. And you need a lot, because you want this to have flavor. 2 tablespoons and 3 tablespoons. Let me mix that together and see how it looks. Make sure you stir it really, really good. Now, that's still not enough. I can even tell just by looking at it. So let's do, that's 4 tablespoons. That's all I have. Didn't know I was short, but I ordered this new stuff. I have not tried it yet. We're going to try it today. It's called Flavor God Italian Zest. It is kosher, gluten-free, paleo certified, and vegan friendly. It smells really good. I'm going to try 1 tablespoon of this because our sauce is so big. I'm a little worried because I've never tried it before. Actually, I'll do half of a tablespoon. Let's start there. Alright, my sauce is still a little thick for my liking, so I'm going to add about 3/4 of a small can of water to mine, just to give it some liquid in there. You don't have to do that. It's not in the recipe. Like I said, every time I make it different. Now this is exactly how you want it to look. Just like that, okay? So now it's going to go in, we're going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top, and then it's going to go into our preheated oven, 300 degrees, for 6 hours. But you must cover it very tightly with foil before you put it in the oven. Make sure it's tight so no steam escapes, okay? Alright, so our sauce is done. It smells amazing in here. I did do 2 extra things. Halfway through baking, I pulled it out and I put one of those miniature bottles of dark red wine in it, and I added more of the Italian seasoning Jack ran to the store for me. So I ended up doing that. Now you need to taste it before you add any seasoning or anything like that, because if yours is perfect, just leave it. If you don't want to add the wine, don't add it. And remember, this freezes really good. So when it's all nice and cool, you can put it in like containers or in the vacuum sealed, and lay them flat, and they're perfect. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you do you.